Today, we are presenting a formal briefing from the Leadership Execution Institute. We're going to tackle a systemic and very expensive problem facing modern enterprises. Why do so many large-scale AI initiatives fail? We'll examine the root causes and outline a systemic solution grounded in behavioral science. So let's start with a really stark number. Companies have invested over $200 billion in AI. And yet, somewhere between 90 and 95% of those initiatives are failing to achieve any kind of scalable, meaningful impact. That's a massive amount of squandered capital and potential. So you have to ask, what is going on here?
Now, the intuitive answer might be, we need more training, but the data suggests something else entirely. The issue isn't really a lack of knowledge. You see, of all the skills taught in leadership training programs, only about 12% are consistently applied back on the job. This creates a fundamental disconnect between what leaders are taught and what they actually do day to day.
And that brings us to the heart of the problem, a concept the Leadership Execution Institute calls the reinforcement gap. Think of it this way. A supervisor learns a new leadership principle in a workshop. But when a crisis hits, back at their desk, they default to old habits because there is no system to support or reinforce the new behavior in that critical moment of execution.
Over time, this lack of reinforcement causes something called execution drift. You can see it visualized here. It's this growing chasm between the intended strategy, what the plan says should happen, and the actual execution on the ground. And this isn't about one or two people making mistakes. It's a systemic breakdown in behavioral consistency, and it's where these huge AI projects begin to unravel.
So, what causes this drift? Well, it turns out it's not random at all. The Institute's research identifies it as a predictable outcome of four, immutable human factors that emerge when people are under pressure. These factors are organized into a model called the FONE Framework. Let's look at the four factors in this table, because these are the root causes. First up is fear. This leads to risk-averse behaviors where just playing it safe becomes more important than performance. Then you have overconfidence, where a leader deviates from the standard without even being aware they're doing it, thanks to cognitive bias. Next is negative impressions, where managing how you look takes priority over actual competence. And finally, execution blindness. This is the inability to even see that performance is off track, even when all the metrics are right there in front of you.
Okay, so if more training isn't the fix, and these human factors are predictable, then what is the solution? The Leadership Execution Institute's position is clear. You can't solve a systemic problem with a temporary intervention. You don't need another training course. You need a system, one that is specifically designed to manage these human factors and close that reinforcement gap for good.
This is where the Leadership Execution System, or LES, is introduced. The entire purpose of the LES, as you can see here, is to embed leadership standards and decision guardrails right into the daily workflow. It moves leadership development from a one-time event into a continuous supported process, using what it calls in-the-flow execution and culture-calibrated AI.
A core capability this system builds is something called decision agility, which is the ability to make high-speed, high-confidence decisions under pressure. To make that happen, it operationalizes decision-making through the CALM model shown here. It's a clear process. First, you clarify the decision and what success looks like. Then you assess all the variables, readiness, impact. Next, you limit the noise by filtering information. And finally, you move with confidence, backed by clear accountability.
So, what are the measurable outcomes of this kind of systemic approach? Well, the data is compelling. Take a look at this chart. Remember the industry average for AI success was below 10%? Organizations that implement a structured system like this see their success rates climb to over 60%. That is a fundamental shift from a high-risk bet to a reliable strategic capability.
This briefing is based on research. For those who wish to examine the underlying data, the research anchors are provided here. They are DOI 10.5281/Zenodo 17394116, DOI 10.5281/Zenodo 7425566, and ORCID 0009-0004-6525-5634.
The key takeaway here is that unlocking the true value of artificial intelligence requires a system that masters human execution. It's not just about the technology. It's about building a framework for consistent leadership performance, especially under pressure. Published by the Leadership Execution Institute 2025. Implementation available through Call Center Coach.